Good morning, Tom. Choop, choop. There he comes. He's a big lad. Oh, he feels like dancing this morning. Oh, Tom. Choop, choop, choop. Isn't he beautiful? And good morning, Lobo. He's checking that everyone's okay. This chicken lives separately from the others because, I don't know, they just don't like her. She's much older. She's older than the cockerel, and the cockerel just beats her up. She's terrified. And then even the turkey, who used to be her best roommate, he beats her up as well. So I thought she was dying a few months ago. She was so ill and had been battered around the head and things. But it turns out she was just terrified and had been battered. So she gets her own little house. She gets to live out the rest of her days and retire in peace. She's much happier now. It's 10 to 7 in the morning, Sunday. Very quiet. So good morning. I'm just sitting outside for a cup of tea. It's earlier than I normally emerge. That's all the birds. I'm not a morning person, but this pandemic's got all of our brains going, so I just woke up a bit early. It's a grey, overcast morning. So looking after our mental health is important, and the mental health implications of this pandemic for everyone is going to be huge, and it's very important to do mindfulness, as they say, and just take care of our own selves, because we can't look after other people if we're too stressed or starting to get ill from the strangeness of it all. Oh, here's the chicken, come to say hello. Everyone's different, and outdoors is where I get my peace from, and being busy and making things and building things and walking. Being physically active is my groove, but I also need a lot of time out, a lot of headspace. There's cars out and about, as well as the beautiful bird song. Now, crisis doesn't really send me into a really bad headspace. A crisis is kind of, I'm okay in a crisis, sort of. And that's why firefighting for years for me was alright. It's all the other stuff that's difficult, like the phone ringing. But I mean, I'm fine these days, I'm pretty chill. I'll just zoom in at that mountain over there. Still a bit of snow on the hills. It's quite cold this morning. Yeah, I've been hyper vigilant a lot of my life, even before I got PTSD. Hypervigilance means your alarm bells are always on. You're always waiting for the next disaster, and you're always prepared for. So you've got too much adrenaline going on. You're looking for a crisis, and you're just way too stressed. Which is why I like a lot of headspace. I like chill time. I like time alone. I mean, I love people and I love teaching, but all the time I just crave to be alone, and it's just to chill out after living on such a hyper-stressed kind of way. But when a real crisis does come along, like my fire brigade pager used to go off, or there's a global pandemic or whatever, to me that's kind of normal. That's comfortable. Well, not comfortable, but that's what my brain's ready for all the time. So I'm very calm when there's bad things go on, and it's afterwards that it takes its toll. and I become exhausted and fraught, and then worry every time the phone rings. So, but I'm pretty good these days. I'm on an even keel. So it's dealing with things and having to be active in the crisis stage. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, what's the dog got? Lobo? Lobo! Drop it! Oh, he's stealing bread from the chickens, and there's Pancho. He'll probably start barking and yapping and fighting him for it. I've got cardboard down because everything's been so muddy. Hope you're enjoying the bird song. Yeah, there's times in the past that I'd be having a panic attack, and I'd become quite paralysed with fear, and I'd be in a completely different place. I'd be either having a flashback or just zoned out, couldn't speak, couldn't move. And then my fire brigade pager would go off, and I'd come back to reality and snap out of it, and be able to go off and deal with the job, and I'd come back and I'd be fine, and my endorphins would be going, my adrenaline would have something to do, whereas if it didn't have anything to do, it would just close in and create disasters in my head. So mental health's a strange thing. It affects everybody differently, and it's important that we all understand our heads and take time out to do the things that give us joy, even though there's terrible things going on and people dying and people scared and people not getting food, people having no income and being made homeless and losing their jobs. We still have a right to be happy. We still have to find joy where we can, and playfulness, and have fun. Having fun is really important, and being playful and being creative, and looking after our loved ones, looking after ourselves. Self-care isn't selfish. Self-care just means that you can, it's like fixing the motor of a car. You can't go anywhere. You can't help people if you don't look after yourself. So being outdoors is one of my things. Nettle tea. Nettle tea's, I don't know, it's pretty gross at first, but you get used to it, and it's nice. With local honey and just come to finish my cup of tea and hang out with the birds. His head is quite warm, and he changes colour. He's doing his courtship dance right now. If I sit here long enough, he's going to climb on my feet and do his little dance. I'm in my pyjamas still. There he goes. Amorous turkey. He is a heavy boy. Amorous cockerel, looking after his girls. So I hope this Sunday finds you all well.